This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. Helping you find emotional, spiritual, and physical balance. What does your future hold? It's time to find out with Psychic Suzanna.
Yes, you are right where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. Now, you can always find us online. You can go to PsychicSuzanna.com and you can get a free question. You can see my schedule, the whole bit. Or you can go to KFAB.com and you're going to find out all the latest information you need to help you understand what's going on in the area. You know, I'm also on Sirius Radio, and I got to tell you, the other day, I'm driving down the road and listening to a local station in another market. And
Okay.
I'm thinking, thank God we tuned to local stations like KFAB because we know what's on the roads. I mean, they come in, there's a problem on the road, we get that info right away. Mm-hmm. And so if you're driving, you don't want to be on Sirius. You want to be live and local like we are here.
We don't care what's going on in New York City if
No.
we have a flooding problem here in the Midwest. You
go to the website, you can find out. Don't do it while you're driving, of course, KFAB.com. But listening here keeps you in tune to what's going on in the town any moment. So please stay tuned. This is the show where we're going to help you grow. Oh, my gosh, that rhymed. I love that. Please join us at lifewithpsychicsusanna.com on Facebook. That's where you get an inside note of who's going to be on the air. And join us at Susanna Stickney. I try to leave a positive intention every day with you, something I'm working on. I ask you to join me on that. And I love Facebook because I'm able to go there and give you a birthday greeting. I love how Facebook has made our life a little bit closer. If you are on Life with Psychic Suzanna on Facebook, you would have gotten the that we're going to have on this time, okay, on our guest today. Put them on hold. We want people to be put on hold. Jim, here's the scoopy doopy. And I hope they're listening because you guys call a little too late and then we don't get at you. So you can call early, be put on hold. The number is 1-800-558-1110 or 558-1110. We need them to call early.
Yeah, I was trying to. I promised her peppermint sticks and everything, but she didn't want to hold on that long. But someone else do it. Be the first.
Yeah.
Be brave.
Because
that's going to be part of the topic tonight, right? Brave.
But by the time at the end of the show, we have people waiting. Mm-hmm. Not good. Call in early. Be on hold. Great shows. Right now, though, we're going to be talking to really one of America's hottest and best and formerly America's foremost numerologist. And we're talking to Ellin Dodge. I must tell you, I went to her website. I went to her information is right there for you to find. It's Ellin Dodge. Ellin Dodge, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Susanna. It's so good to be. I'm in Omaha, and I didn't know it.
Well, in Omaha is where the Midwest is, so we sort of like to get down to our basics. And I'm thinking that numbers is getting down to the basics. Is it?
Well, yeah. Numbers are progressions. Music is progressions. The numbers 1 through 9 in numerology they do describe all characteristics of human nature, man, and we have a system called numerology that we use with numbers, and the numbers all have meanings that were evolved by Pythagoras, the Greek mathematician. Now, I'm sure listeners remember 8th or 9th grade when they were studying, triangles and all that kind of good stuff, geometry.
Geometry, you bet.
I really choked over that one. I didn't do well with geometry. So.
Not many of us did,
No,
let's be real honest.
But we do remember Pythagoras because he established the isosceles triangle and many other things. But he's considered the father of numbers because he evolved a system very much like what listeners would understand in terms of being like astrology. You know how astrology uses meanings for the planets.
Mm-hmm.
And so numerology puts meanings to the numbers. And we believe, Pythagoras believed, that numbers attract. In other words, I can tell what kind of people your house will attract just by the number on the door. I can tell what you attract in life by your birthday numbers. Your destiny is told to me by the numbers in your birth date. From your name, I put numbers to the alphabet, and then I'm able to figure out the meanings of the vowels, the consonants, and all the letters in the name separately. Those three categories tell me your natural instincts, what you're most comfortable being, and then it tells me your first impression that you give to other people, and it tells me all the letters in your name will tell me when I put the numerology system to it what your career talents are, your means of self-expression. So it's really a system like astrology. It's pretty exacting on timing.
Uh-huh.
And I never got into astrology because I couldn't believe that a doctor looked at a clock, when they pulled a baby out.
Right.
And you need to know a time of birth to get good timing with astrology. With numerology, we don't need that. We only need your name as it appears on your birth certificate and your month, day, and year of birth. And
now,
from that, we tell everything. Yes, ma'am.
Now, you say it tells us all our characteristics. How did it come into being? How did it come into being? I believe in your book, one of your books, it talks about the cavemen. Is that correct?
Well,
From Ace to Zumo, was that the book?
No, From Ace to Zumo tells us how to name our pets to be compatible with us.
Okay, we're going to talk about that later.
We're going to talk about numerology
Right.
as your number.
All right.
Which is, a basic numerology book, and people can do the same thing I do just by having the book. Takes about 10 minutes to do a chart, and then you start reading about yourself and your family and anybody else you want to read about.
By the way, I want to stop you a moment. The
Sure.
numerology has your number.
Yeah.
I did not get a hold of the book so I had one of my researchers look at it, actually my husband, the George. And he mentioned that it is one of the best numerology books he's ever saw because it was easy to understand and it was applicable. We were able to use it right away because it's very easy put together. So,
good. I'm happy to hear that.
When the George says it's good, I trust him completely.
Oh, I love George. He's going to be one of my best friends from here on. But getting back to the numbers, you talked about the cave people. Numerology is like a symbology, and we can go back to the cave peoples when cumulative values and symbols were put together. There's a book called Rites of Civilization that gives us all the description of how the cave peoples put pictures on the walls where they would have an animal with 4 legs that stood up straight, didn't fall down. And so the number 4 symbolizes something solid, something that's not going to be shaky or fall. That's how it all started, Susanna. And then it got to the Sumerians, who had their own numerology system, and they dealt with the numbers 1 through 8, because in that civilization, the highest evolvement of man were the fighters, the people who were powerful. When we get to the Greeks, when Pythagoras got into numerology and established his system, which is the modernized version, we use the numbers 1 through 9 because the Greek civilization was a highly culturally evolved civilization where the number 9 was brought in to symbolize humanitarian efforts, art, music, beauty, kindness, charity, which did not exist in the earliest civilizations. Man was on, survival. It was the Greek civilization that brought culture, into civilization. civilization. So Pythagoras was considered a mathematician and a philosopher. In fact, the word philosopher was coined for Pythagoras.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did was he put, as I said, meanings to the numbers 1 through 9, and he taught his students. He had disciples. He had what was called a mystery school in Greece, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he taught unselfishness and mutual friendship, and he believed in, he believed that one that should not eat meat, you were eating another person. He didn't wear the skins of animals because we treat living creatures as brothers and friends. He believed in the value of silence because you can only learn by being silent. When you're talking, you're not listening.
Wow. That's pretty deep. I'll be honest with you.
Too deep for us?
Well, we're going to have to work on being silent as we go to commercials. But one of the things I want to ask you about before we come back, so this you can ponder during our commercials, it seems like a lot of numbers are given to us, like even our Social Security. There's so many numbers, like our post office box, or our numbers are always given to us. Are they significant? We're going to come back with that thought. We are talking to Ellin Dodge. She is a noted numerologist. Matter of fact, one of the America's foremost numerologists. We'll be right back. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB.
Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. She knew I was going to say that.
Yes, you are right where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. Now, you can always find us at PsychicSuzanna.com, where you get a lesson of... by the way, I must tell you, I'm trying to concentrate on the radio station. And Ellin, are you there?
Oh, I'm here, sweetie, yeah.
Yeah, well, George says, just texted me and said a great start. So apparently we're doing okay.
Oh, good. Listen, I'm telling you, George is getting to be my best friend.
I think he's loving that. Anyway, we're talking to Ellin Dodge. She has written a book called Numerology, Has Your Number. And we're talking about numbers today, how numbers can help you see things. We're giving many numbers in our life, like our post office box number.
Well, all right, Susanna, numbers attract their meaning. In other words...
So numbers attract their meaning.
In other words,
your
house number, for instance... Or basically, there's one basic rule in numerology. We break everything down to the numbers 1 through 9, and the way we do that is by adding numbers together. Now, this is going to be a mind-boggler, so let's go slow.
Okay.
The number 12 becomes a 3.
Okay.
Because 1 plus 2 is 3.
Okay.
The number 22 becomes a 4, because 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay.
Well, you know what? I just remembered 4 is sound because it has 4 legs like in the cave. That was a great idea. Put it all together for me for 4.
It's very solid, right? I think for listeners to understand, how this would work with only numbers 1 through 9 and why it is so easy to learn is because we take all numbers and add them together and reduce them to single numbers. And then we really only have to learn the meanings of the numbers 1 through 9. It's not that complicated. In other words, I have your numerology chart in front of me.
Okay.
And I know, if you won't mind, I know you're born on the 27th of the month.
Right.
Now, that would be a 9.
Right.
2 plus 7 is 9.
Right.
9 is a very highly evolved number. That is the number of the highest evolvement of culture.
Oh, I like that.
So we always knew you were a cultural lady, right?
I like that.
Okay. But that's how it works. In other words, I can tell by looking at any number, your Social Security number. Look, we believe you're metaphysical. We believe that all things are meant to be.
Correct.
Okay. I believe as a numerologist, and Pythagoras believed, that we choose as our spiritual selves. We're all on a material plane and on a spiritual plane.
Right.
On our spiritual plane, all human beings have one. We choose our time to be born, and we choose our names.
Got
now,
that. Believe that. You bet.
Yeah, you may think that great Aunt Fanny, because she was going to leave some money, that's why she chose the name. But it's really, we believe, meant to be. And you are your name as it appears on your birth certificate in numerology, even though you may change your name in marriage or you may change your name for theatrical reasons. Basically, the basic person was meant to change the name.
Okay.
See what I mean? So you're always the interpretation of your basic numerology chart.
Well, I've got a little problem, if I might.
Sure,
tell
go.
You.
Absolutely.
Okay, you did my numbers.
Yeah. I got your number, kid.
Okay, you said my first impression was a number 5. That doesn't make me feel good.
No,
Can
your
it be
first
changed?
Impression, no, I did not say that. Your means of self-expression, your career talents are a 5.
So what does that mean?
A number 5 is the number of the multitasker, the person who's able to be all things to all people.
Oh,
Usually
I like that.
a catalyst for change in other people's lives.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, it is something to very much like.
Well, can numbers be changed, though? Say if I got a number that I don't like. I like being a catalyst to change. I like that.
Don't. You can bring in overriding influences. Let's say, for instance, Marilyn Monroe changed her name. Her name was originally Norma. There's a big difference between the meanings of the M, which is a 4, and the number 5 meaning of the letter N, the first letter in Norma, which gives a person's point of view. I can tell a person's point of view by the first letter in their first name. Now, the 4 for the M in Maryland and the 5 for the N in Norma are as different as oil and water. The 4 is practical, wants to live a stable life, pay their bills, do the right thing. The number 5, as we just talked about, is somebody who wants to live life to the fullest, doesn't want to watch life go by, doesn't want to really live by the rules, wants to live to feel life. And be involved in everything. So poor Marilyn, she's, she lived a life that was pretty emotionally mixed up. And when we do change our names, we bring in overriding influences, but we do not change the basic personality.
Oh, that's interesting. So if I were to wanting to, now how far can I take this numerology? Can I take it to saying, like, I will start a project on the 14th, or can you look at your numbers and decide?
I have in front of me your numbers for every day in the year for the next 2 years. I can tell that today you worked. I can tell that yesterday you were more sociable. I know that on Friday you had a lot of petty details and a lot of annoying things happened. You weren't feeling that. You weren't feeling that energetic. I look at your numbers. I have ways of making calendars. I also know that this week, the 15th through the 21st of July for you, is an important week when it comes to powerful things. It could be money, but it's a very fortunate power week.
We're going to have to take another little break. I want to hear about the power week, but I want to see also, like, can I take numbers to a casino? We'll be right back. We're talking to Ellin Dodge. She has everything we need to know about numerology on her thing. You can find her on her website. I believe, is it Ellin Dodge?
It's just www.ellindodge.com.
Okay, and she'll be right back with us. We're talking numerology. Has your numbers. I want to see how far we can go with this numerology to living a daily life. We'll be right back with Ellin Dodge right here on Life with Psychic Suzanna on KFAB. Bye-bye.
This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB.
Yes, you're right where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. Always find us at PsychicSuzanna.com where you get a free question. Go to KFAB.com. All the information you need is right there. Knowing about the floods, what roads you can do. You stay tuned to us because we are the informing radio station. We'll let you know what you need to know when you need to know it, not an hour later. So, we're talking right now to, if you were, by the way, one of Life with Psychic Suzanna on Facebook or Susanna Stickney, you would have found out that we have Ellin Dodge with us today. She's America's foremost noted numerologist. I've had a couple of conversations with her. I really love her energy. She doesn't, she calls it like she sees it, which I really like. She has written several books. Numerology Has Your Number. You Are Your First Name. You Are Your Birthday. Wait a minute. Win the Lottery. That's what we wanted to talk about. And the Vibes book.
Okay. Well,
can I win the lottery if I know my numbers?
Yeah, well, I just got an email today from somebody who picked 4 numbers from the book and won 4 numbers in their lottery recently. So I don't know. You get your numbers from your numerology chart.
Okay.
And Win the Lottery shows you, how to figure out your numbers. And I've gotten very good feedback on the book, that people have been fortunate.
Marvelous.
Originally, years ago in 1994, I introduced the National Lottery in London. And one woman, and I was, featured, Win the Lottery was featured in the Mirror Group's newspapers for 6 months. And I had a great time, opening up shopping centers and traveling around in limousines. It was wonderful.
I bet it was.
However, somebody did hit with the lottery with my book. Some woman. I don't remember all the details now, but it is good to know your own numbers. Your numbers come to you. You'll find that your numbers will come in your telephone number, in your Social Security number, in the different phone numbers that you get. I mean, your phone number tells us what types of phone calls that your phone is attracting to you. And you'll find when you look at your checkbook number, you look at your Social Security number, and you find out your personal numerology numbers, you will find that they turn up frequently.
Really?
Yeah, look, we're dealing with metaphysics here,
Yeah.
There's no logic to it, okay? It just works.
Yeah, yet there seems to be a certain order to numerology. Is not the Kabbalah done with numerology?
Well, the Kabbalah, I've studied Kabbalah. Kabbalah is the metaphysical aspects of the Old Testament, and it is metaphysical. It does not work the same way that the modernized Greek system works. But Kabbalah is a system of numerology, yes, where they use number meanings to interpret the Bible.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a lot more complicated, and you really need to be a student of Kabbalah for many years to really understand it.
Could numbers also be bad for us to know? Today, what day is it today, by the way?
Today is the 17th, which is a very good number. It's an 8. 1 plus 7 is 8, which means that people are spending money today in restaurants and doing things.
And my number is 8 for motivation. So what should I be doing today? A radio show, I take it for granted.
No, today you're supposed to be working, Susanna, and that's what you were doing.
Okay.
But actually, your number 8, motivation, which is your soul urge,
right,
natural instinct, the number 8 means the power to succeed.
Wow.
The number 8 is the person who's shrewd, efficient, who wants the freedom that money can buy. In other words, understands how to get what they want, how to solve problems, and is comfortable, wanting to be a power person.
Okay. We're going to have to take another break. May I hold you over, Ellin, till the next segment? This is Ellin Dodge. Can you stay on the line with us?
Sure.
Thank you. We'll be right back with Ellin Dodge, the America's foremost numerologist. Yes, you are right where you need to be. This is Life with Psychic Suzanna on 1110 KFAB. You can find us at PsychicSuzanna.com. That's where you get a free question, you get the schedule, you get all info. You can go to KFAB.com. You find out what's happening in town. You stay tuned here because we are the station that keeps you updated in the latest news and the latest information, the latest traffic. Please join us on Facebook with Life with Psychic Suzanna and Susanna Stickney, both of those, because I don't always do Life with Psychic Suzanna, but I let you know who's our guest. And today's guest is America's foremost numerologist, Ellin Dodge, who has been filling us in about how numerology has your number. She's telling us how numbers play such an important role in our life. Welcome back to the show, Ellin.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You know, while we were off air, I was off air. You weren't. But I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice to tell our listeners the meanings of the numbers 1 through 9 so they can put 2 and 2 together with their own birthdays?
Oh, let's do it.
Okay.
Let me say 1 so we can be interactive here. Number 1.
The number 1 is the number of the ego, the independent person. If you were to describe a number 1, it would be somebody who stands on their own 2 feet. They're creative. They are self-starters. They're self-reliant.
Okay.
And they're based in the ego.
Number 2.
Number 2 is union. It's when 2 things get together. And the number 2 type person would be a sweet, genteel type lady. You know, somebody that's more inclined to be supportive of the number 1.
Number 3.
Number 3 is the number of communication. Now, this is a very strong number for people in theater. It's the people who have a talent for writing. It's people like your husband, George, with a beautiful eyes and a memorable voice.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah, George is definitely an aristocratic point of view. That's what that G tells me, the first letter of his name. And I know when he smiles, he lights up a room.
He lights my heart, honey.
He's a charmer.
Number 4.
The number 4 is the number, as we talked about, of stability, rules, regulations, the conventions. It's a solid number. And the number 5, you were going to say, right?
Yes, 5.
Okay, number 5 is the number of the person who has many opportunities to do many things. They're striking, they're attention-getting when you look at them. They're people who are enthusiastic, always stay young. They're very sensual people. They enjoy
travel. I had 5 somewhere in my chart. 5,
yeah, you do. It's your career talent. And you are a sensual being. You like good food, smells, to travel. You like all these things that make life interesting.
Okay, number 6.
Number 6 is your number for your first impression. And the number 6 is a person who looks comforting. It's the person on the supermarket line that everybody asks questions of because they know that this person is going to be interested in them.
Oh, I like that.
The number 6 is a person who is a nurturer, somebody who makes the home beautiful, loves beautiful art in the home, and wants to see children educated.
I like that. Number 7.
And number 7 is the spiritual number. It's the number of metaphysical people, of the religious people, clergymen. It's the intellectual and the spiritual number.
Wow.
It's the quiet, aloof, poised kind of person who's refined and aristocratic.
Okay.
The number 8 is the power number. It's your CEO, the president of a corporation, or the professional athlete. Both the corporation president and a professional athlete are very ambitious, and they're courageous, and they want to win. So the professional athlete wants to break the tape. The CEO wants to break last year's figures. But these are the people who excel in our commercial world. They do well with money and power and strength. The number 9, which is your destiny number and your birthday number, well, this is the number of the highly evolved person. They are romantic and artistic looking. These are the people who do charity work. These are the people who go off to Biafra to save the world. These are the people who care about everybody and everything. They're not bigoted. They believe that all human beings are connected. We are all one.
I like this.
And that is what you're growing into in your destiny, Susanna. It is a wonderful destiny of brotherhood.
All right, Ellin Dodge. How do we find your book? We can find it everywhere. Numerology has your number.
Any bookseller, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any bookstore you walk into.
Okay, and the George says this is easy to understand, easy to use. How else do we get a hold of you, Ellin? Is there another way?
Well, you just go up on my website, www.ellindodge.com, and you can contact me right on my website.
Thank you for
and and by the way, you get a free reading when you go up there every month.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that. Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Well,
Ellin,
thank you so much for having me.
You've been a blessing. You've been a lot of joy. I thank you for being on the show. I do want to mention, thank you again, Ellin.
Okay.
We'll be talking again. I do want to mention